So as many of you know at this point, we have copies of Battlefield 2 in the office. Woohoo! Yay, we finally have it. We've all been looking forward to it, and as I'm sure all of you have. So we decided to show you a little bit of what we've been doing. The first thing we wanted to show you is the Commander mode, which is one of the newest things to Battlefield 2, and one of the biggest differences, I think. This commander mode actually allows somebody to act as kind of a field commander that not only gets to tell squads where to go and what they need to defend, but actually gets some special abilities to help their team out. The 4 special abilities that the commander has are a scan mode that just scans the entire map. Only the commander can see the little red blips of the enemy show up. Nobody else can. So that's mainly for the commander to say, okay, you need to go here and defend, or you need to go here and attack. The second ability is the artillery, which is probably the most powerful. This artillery pretty much allows you to strike anywhere at any time using stationary pieces of equipment that your team has to defend. And once this artillery starts dropping, everybody in the area dies, whether you're on the team or not. It's a pretty devastating attack, and it's scary to be in the middle of. The third thing is the UAV unmanned drone, the Predator drone. Pretty much you send it out there, and it's a stationary drone that sits over one part of the map and scans the immediate area. So everybody on the map, or everybody on your team, will be able to see what that UAV drone actually shows. The fourth and last thing that the commander can do is drop supplies for players, because this time there are no medic boxes and there are no ammo boxes around. So you can't just run up next to them and get resupplied. So if everybody's out of ammo, nobody has any more resupplies of their own, people can ask the commander to drop some supplies, and he'll drop them on people, and then everybody can run up and get resupplied by just standing next to this crate. The other thing the commander can do is actually zoom in and out on the field, so you can get a nice up-close and personal view of the action. It actually zooms so far in that you can see everything happening in real time, all of the soldiers running around, all of the vehicles moving around. So you can get a really good idea of what's happening and have more precise control over where you drop artillery or where you drop supplies. Lastly, helping the commander out in an organizational fashion are the little buttons at the bottom of the screen, which basically allow him to sort through different kinds of kits, and so you know where each of the guys are and what they're carrying, and so you can pretty much tell them to go to the right place at the right time. And these kits are all very important this time around, because team play is a big thing in Battlefield 2. You know, in Battlefield 1942 in Vietnam, people kind of ran around and did their own thing. So the guys really wanted to make sure that the focus was more on team play, and people were encouraged to act as a team. The first on the list is Special Ops. This is one of the new classes to the game, and he's pretty special because he's not only got a rifle that's some pretty decent power and accuracy, but he has C4 as well. And this C4 can be spread around and then activated using a little hand clicker. So you just throw it on the ground, throw it on a tank, throw it on a bridge, click it, and everything blows up. Next on the list is Sniper. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's not changed a whole lot since the original Battlefield. Pretty much you just get a sniper rifle, go around, shoot people. That's your kit, and that's what you do. And considering the draw distance is much longer in this, it's a pretty deadly field. Third on the list is the Assault. This guy doesn't have a whole lot special going for him. He's kind of the basic soldier, but he does have the added weapon of having a rifle-mounted grenade launcher, so he can switch to that at any time and take out groups of soldiers, or over long distances, obviously. He also has the ability to throw smoke grenades that can cut some cover, and that's kind of the big thing going for him. Fourth on the list is Support. These guys are pretty important to the team. Not only do they have that M60 machine gun, which is pretty powerful, not as powerful as Vietnam. It's a lot less accurate than it was originally. But they also have the ability to resupply people with ammunition. So they hold out their ammunition pack, or they can even drop an ammunition pack on the ground for people to run over, kind of like Return to Castle Wolfenstein multiplayer. So people get resupplied and can be able to fight for a little bit longer. The Engineer is the next on the list, and he's important because he can repair everything on the map. He can repair vehicles, he can repair bridges, he can repair the artillery and the radar, which is also very important. And he also comes with a weapon that nobody else has. He has the shotgun, which is pretty cool, because you get up close, nobody stands a chance, pretty much. The next on the list is a medic, who is also incredibly important in team play. because just being around people and holding that little pack, he's gonna heal people up. And that's obviously very important to a squad that wants to stay functional. So if you add a medic and a support guy in the same group, you're going to be pretty operational all the time. Last on the list is anti-tank. The anti-tank is obviously pretty self-explanatory again. The main weapon is a machine gun, pretty decent machine gun with fairly good accuracy. But he can switch at any time to an anti-tank weapon, which is obviously very important in a game that has a lot of vehicles. There's not a whole lot of shots to it, but it's powerful and it's definitely useful to have. Not only that, but it can actually lock on to tanks. And when you're in a tank and you start hearing that beeping, you know that you need to start thinking about backing up or getting out of your tank altogether. So speaking of tanks, there's a lot of vehicles in this game. Obviously, it's a big part of Battlefield, and we were expecting a lot of vehicles, and there's a lot on each of the sides. Along with the land vehicles like tanks and jeeps and armored transport and stuff like that, there's also the flying vehicles as well. Controls are pretty much the same as they were before. I think flying and helicopter, you're still going to need a joystick. It's going to be a lot easier. It's definitely possible to fly around with a mouse and a keyboard. I'm terrible at flying helicopters. I've never been good at it. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. But planes are actually pretty decent with a mouse. You're not gonna be able to fight against somebody with a joystick quite easily, but they're a blast to fly around and fight with. You can get into some pretty good dogfights, especially now that some of the weapons are guided. So you have laser guided missiles, you have heat-seeking missiles that you're going to need chaff to kind of drop away and to keep from shooting you down. The laser guided missiles actually only target things on the ground, so you can take out tanks from planes now as well. One of the cool new missiles that the helicopters have actually only works from the gunner position, and this is the TV-guided missile. The TV-guided missile actually allows you to see the battlefield in a TV view, obviously, and you kind of focus the TV on the target, shoot, and you have a second to actually guide the missile yourself using the camera that's in the nose of the missile. So you can actually hone in and fire it at a tank and watch the tank blow up right from the top of the missile, which is a whole lot of fun. It's a little hard to control. I think it's supposed to be. Obviously, it would be a little too much if you could control it really easily. You could pretty much take anything out on the field. But it's a whole lot of fun to see that happen, and it's an interesting little view. One of the really cool things about vehicles now is that drivers are encouraged. Say if you're a very good pilot, a helicopter pilot that actually just takes people around, drives people around, you actually get points for that, and you get points for every kill that happens from the gunner position. So while you're flying and you position your helicopter in a way that the gunner can mow somebody down with his minigun, then you actually get some points for that, and that's a really good addition, I think, because there are some people who really like to drive and they kind of felt left out from the points, and so that's really cool. And points are handled really well this time around in general. You get points for driving, you get points for being a good tank person, you get points for a commander, you get points for all the different kits. So you heal someone, you get points as a medic. You heal someone, you resupply someone, you get some points as support. You repair something, you get points as an engineer. And so you actually will gain ranks in each of these kits. And what that does is it actually unlocks new kinds of weapons. And you can actually see all of these stats, because all of these stats are uploaded to a server that has your nickname on it, which goes through GameSpy actually. And so you'll see your nickname there, and you'll see all of the stats. You'll see the maps you played, you'll see who you've killed the most, you'll see all the weapons you used the most, you'll see all your rankings, all your ratings, all of the awards you've been given, all of that stuff. You also can go through all of the information about all of the kits and all of the sides and all that kind of stuff. And it's actually a really cool tool, and allows players to see what they're doing and how they've improved. And that's a pretty valuable tool. The one thing we haven't really gotten into yet is squads, mainly because most of us don't have mics in the office at this point. But we are, kind of planning on getting those together and getting organized with that. So hopefully we'll be able to show you more of that next week. So yeah, we're having a blast with Battlefield 2. We've only had it for a day and a half, but everybody's playing the hell out of it and having a great time doing so. We'll be coming back next week with some more videos and more screens and more impressions about what we've been experiencing. So keep tuned to IGN over the next couple of weeks until the game releases on June 21st.